Hi, I'm Elliot, a writer, and I'm typing out The Great Gatsby. Why? Because that was something Hunter S Thompson did because he wanted to see what it would be like to write a masterpiece. Now that I have some time on my hands, I figured it would be a good opportunity to try it myself. So, join me every Saturday until I finish the whole novel. Welcome back to another episode of Typing The Great Gatsby with me, Elliot. Doing good. Staying sane. It's hard. It's not easy. Not easy to do that. Tough times. Forest fires last week kind of took the news. This week, moth outbreak, looper moths. I don't know too much about moths, but here in Vancouver, there's a lot of moths. It's like a once in a decade type of event or something. Yeah, it's kind of scary. It's apocalyptic. It's like smoke everywhere, and then these moths are everywhere. A horrible disease, killing people, political unrest, society torn apart, people not able to come together. Yeah, staying sane. Yeah, that's how I want to start off this episode, just by highlighting everything wrong in the world, and then allowing ourselves to escape it into the story of the Great Gatsby. Oh my God. It is funny that above all else, I look forward to completing this. I kind of feel like the moment I complete this is also the moment where everything else in the world goes back to normal. So I have a very important duty right now to complete this project, because I might be the only hope for the world that this must be done. Or I'm delusional. It's probably the latter, but I could do this. I could certainly do this. We are doing it together. Thank you for joining me once again. Thank you for all the support. It has been a very busy month or so. I know at the beginning of this, I go like, hey, now that I have some time, that was literally 7 months ago that I had time. I don't have time anymore. In fact, I should update that intro to address my current situation, because I mentioned this before, I'm really just trying to fit this in wherever I can. Bugs bothering me. Kind of glad that summer is wrapping up. It's been not the most fun summer ever, to say the least. But we got through it, one season at a time. Anyways, enough of this. Enough of my therapy session, my ramblings. Let's start typing. We have a lot to get through today. Today's a busy day, and like I said, I want to get this done sooner than later, because I'm only going to get more and more busy, because I'm so important. People rely on me for things, and I have a lot of responsibilities. I'm just counted on an indispensable thing I am. Okay, let's start. So today, here's our intention. I talked a bit about first-person narratives before, but today I want to dive into it again and explore one crucial element that makes first-person narratives unique. and that is the narrator's blind spots. So that's what we're going to looking at. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. The narrator's, I can't, even if I slow down, I can't say it properly. Nick's blind spots in terms of what he doesn't know. So that we're just going to keep an eye on that, especially during this very social scene where there's a lot of characters in one room. Maybe we'll look at that a bit too, how to deal with a scene with a lot of characters in one room from the perspective of one character. That's what we're going to look at today. So let's get started. Last time we left off, Tom and Gatsby were having this argument about what's his deal? Is Gatsby lying or whatever? Is he an Oxford guy? Are you call yourself an Oxford man? You know. And then Gatsby, you know. Okay, let's just start. Oh, my indentation. Why is it doing that? There we go. Nothing like formatting to slow you down. Do you ever get like you're working on a writing project and then you get so distracted? It's kind of procrastinating, and you're just like, I can't work until I pick the perfect font, or I need to find the perfect indentation, or the typeface isn't right. I need to pick the perfect size for it, and you make it a little bigger so it looks like you've written more, get through more pages. I don't do that often. I wish I did. I used to. I just don't care about any of that stuff anymore. Okay, I'm not completely sure who said that, but that's all right. We'll figure it out as we go. So, obviously, when you're writing from the first person, you can't really enter anybody else's mind except the narrator's. So, everything he's experienced or every thought that he has is unique to himself. He can't really go into Tom's head and try to figure out Tom's thoughts. All he has to work with is his own bias, and you got to bring your narrator's bias to the story. So in this, what's happening right now is, I guess, he's picking the side of Gatsby because he feels like Tom is being a jerk, which he kind of is, but he also wants to be civil about it. He wants to play Switzerland. Doesn't really want to get too into it. Yeah. Size, sport. Okay, so the party is ending. Ooh. 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 It's getting heated real fast. So one of the problems I often have when I'm writing scenes with multiple characters is in real life. In real life, when you're in a situation where there's like 5 people in the room, rarely is people talk over each other. That's something you have to work with in writing, because people, it needs to be clear who's talking. You can't actually have the reader like jumbled up, confused. But as you can see here, he's interrupted. Please, let's go. And then he gets back up. Tom, no one wants a drink. So everything's happened kind of fast, but it's also very clear who's talking. And I think that's just something that you need to play around with and just feel out the scene. Where is the action taking place? Where do you want the narrator to focus on? Because like we said, the narrator is going to have blind spots. He can only tell so much. He can't get into other people's heads, but it's what he sees, it's what he's experiencing. So it's actually much easier, I think, to navigate a scene with multiple people when it is just through one character's POV. So try it. Write a scene. Here's a writing prompt for you. Write a scene with multiple characters. Write it through one person's POV, like a first person, and then write it again as a third person omnipotent. Omnipotent? Is that how you say it? I don't know how to say words today. All right, let's move on. You must be crazy. Ooh, this is intense. I didn't think it would get so intense. This is really good. Because it kind of forces Nick to like stay in the scene. Uh-oh. This is great. This is just such a nice insert there where it describes Gatsby so well. And it's so blunt. It's still from Nick's perspective. You still see it, but it doesn't come across as, but I saw no laughter in his eyes. It's just so clear. So that's nice. We talked about filter words and eliminating it and how it really puts the reader in the spot. And that's just worth repeating about first-person narratives, is that filter words, where while it might seem like it's helping, like clarifying that it's coming from the narrator, it actually distances the reader from the action of the scene, from the plot of it, from the story. But it doesn't go into Gatsby's head. We don't, it just stays on the surface, but it tells so much about him. And so I think this is done really well. It's like what he says doesn't match what he's actually doing. So that's something, when you're writing about a character, that's something. It's like, is the character's words matching the action within itself? If there's this kind of different, if he's saying one thing, but like his body language is expressing something else, that's definitely worth mentioning, and it's definitely worth putting there. And your character should be able to see that while still not getting into the character's head. So there you go. Just working with what you can see, because the narrator is blind to so much. Now, where am I? Okay. Yeah, and once again, it's like, I'm sure a lot of things are happening. Daisy's probably doing something, Jordan's probably doing another thing, but we're not focused on them. We're focused on the scene, the people who are kind of battling each other. It's like Daisy's probably saying other stuff as well. Maybe Jordan's saying things as well, but not important. Let's just focus. So So what's happening here is we're receiving information as it comes, right? We don't know any more than what Nick knows. So he isn't able to kind of foreshadow anything that is about to be told. We're kind of there in the audience, just witnessing this as like another member in this chaotic group, and we're just waiting for the information to come. And that's kind of what's happening right now. I think when writing a first-person narrative, jeez. We kind of have to sort of imagine ourselves as how we receive information, you know, in day-to-day life. We don't know things that we don't know. And it's often worth like recognizing how we actually get the information that we get. Like, how do we know things that we do know? We experience them, we have someone tell it to us, we read it or we watch it. That's about it. Like, information just doesn't really pop into our head that like we could guess, we can make assumptions, and sometimes characters do that, but it's often worth like you can't kind of jump the gun with first person. You have to let it slowly flow in. You gotta be patient as other characters engage with you, or you kind of probe and get the information that you want to know. Yeah. This is heavy. Look at the heavy scene. Let's see how much more. Oof. Okay, let's see how far we get today. I think what's about to happen, just keep an eye on it, is how Fitzgerald kind of shows you Daisy's emotion without ever getting into her head. All that's going to happen here, I believe, I haven't read the paragraph yet or typed it out, is that we should be able to understand how Daisy is feeling without having access to her thoughts. So she hesitates. Interesting, right? I think it's worth taking a look at this. So Gatsby tells her, "You never loved him." She's about to say something, she stops. She looks to Jordan and Nick, me, as if she wants help, because she realizes, this is the assumption that Nick is making now. Nick is sort of connecting the dots and helping us. This can be true to how she's feeling. It could be kind of a false reading from Nick, but he sees her reacting this way, looking at him as if she wants his help, because now she realizes that her marriage is pretty much over. That's what Nick is getting from that look that she gave her. Oof. This sentence kind of acts as a little breather from the situation. It allows us to sort of catch our breath after that really emotional no. Just a moment of silence. This is all about pacing, and I think it's just comes with experience, comes with practice, comes with reading your work out loud. Would really help kind of figure out where you need those breaths to happen, where that moment of intensity peaks and you can't go up anymore. It's how do you bring it back down? It's like a musical arrangement. And if you just listen to arguments in real life, they kind of have these peaks and valleys too, or not so much arguments, but like discussions within a group. They have like, oh, the resolution, we figured something out. Pause. Next question, which is what's happening now. Carried you from the punch bowl to I think what this scene does really well is the showing, not telling. I think this part exemplifies that quite interestingly. Like, we don't need to, never once does it say she's like frustrated. She just kind of does these things that let you know that she's not happy with the way things are unfolding for her today. It's just, it's almost like we're watching it, you know? It doesn't go so deep that we're getting into the brains of the characters. It doesn't get bogged down by that. We kind of just, she turns, and then she says this thing. And then Fitzgerald trusts that us as the reader, we're smart enough to understand the tone and the intensity and what the characters are talking about to make that sort of link of how Daisy is actually feeling, so that we can stay on the surface as if that matters to you. It can be read in many different ways, but I think it's pretty clear how Fitzgerald wanted us to read that, which is kind of a sarcastic way. And he doesn't even need to go any deeper into that. Touch of panic is good. You can feel all the progress he made slipping away. So he could afford to control himself now. It's sort of Nick adding his little bit of commentary of just like directing us as the reader into understanding the impression he's getting is like, oh, he feels like Tom is now winning this battle, and he's just letting us know that Tom can risk being a little confident again. And it's just a little push in terms of what Nick is feeling. He's not saying that Tom thinks blah, 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 this is this, and that allows him to laugh. He's just saying Tom can afford to control himself now. Another turn. Oof. My back. It's killing me sitting like this. Oh, sorry, just needed to stretch. I think it would be really interesting to break apart this whole scene into beats and just see kind of like the different cards that are dealt to like magic cards. Like, I attack with this point as like, I know what you're doing for a living, or before as like, she doesn't love you for this reason. It's just like attacking with different things, and you could just split it up into different like talking points, like a debate. It's like, we're going to argue about this, and then we're going to argue about this. Now this is going to argue about Gatsby's, I guess, his person. And us, like Nick and Jordan, kind of acts as the kind of the jury, like the audience, the crowd, kind of responding to it. It's just like point, counterpoint. What's happening right now. Whew. All right, let's take a quick moment here and do the Fitzgerald fun fact of the day. Most exciting part of the show, arguably. Yeah, so fun fact. One of the reasons why The Great Gatsby, it's so popular, is kind of see here the unmasking of Gatsby, but really there are a few themes. There's like jazz age, blah blah blah, that. But one of the themes is that so there's old money, and then there's new money, which is what Gatsby is, right? And old money is very suspicious of new money. It's like, how do you do that? How do you get here? So it really exemplifies the story. Represents the American dream. It's that idea that you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I think that's how you say it. And if you work hard enough, you can succeed. It's everybody who comes to America kind of has that idea in their head that if they just put in the work, eventually they'll be rewarded. And that's it's this ideology that represents America, and it's, whether it's right or wrong, it's having the American dream ingrained into your being makes it hard to kind of change out of that. And I think we're really seeing that now in the political landscape of America, is this capitalism way of living, is that everybody is working hard and believing that if they continue to work hard, following this system that's been in place since Gatsby time, keep in mind, if we keep pursuing this, working hard, pursuing the American dream, we'll eventually reach the success that we want, which in reality, only 1%, right? It's like we say the 1% actually get to achieve this American dream, but it's how we romanticize it and the price we pay to kind of pursue it. It's the idea of, like, Hunter S Thompson says it quite well, and he has, I don't know if it's like a poem or short story or an essay or something, where he says, buy the ticket, take the ride. And we've already, just by, I guess, being North American in this way, we've already purchased the ticket for this ride that we're going on. And I think the reason Gatsby has resonated and survived the test of time as a novel is because that idea of the American dream still lives on, and everybody wants to be Gatsby in a way. Even though he's such a tragic character, he pays the price. It's that lavish opulence, 1% lifestyle that is still so desirable to many Americans, and still worth pursuing in many ways, even though the fact is that only 1% of the people get to actually reap the rewards of that capitalistic pursuit. So that's a Fitzgerald fun fact. More of a talking point than a fact. But yeah, that's one of it's always interesting thinking, like, why is that book popular, right? Why do people like that book? What makes it so great? And I believe it's that. It's this book kind of sums up what the American dream is, in a way. It's both this romanticized idea and also this tragic sacrifice that we have to make to get there. Yeah. Whew, okay. Oy. I feel really tired from doing this. I kind of want to stop, but I think I'll keep going. I think I need to jumpstart my system a little bit here. Okay. Let's do the timing race. Where's my thing? Let's do the timing part. Here, go, come on, why are you working? So this is the other fun part of the show. This is the part where I time myself for 1 minute to see how much I could type in a minute. I say this every time. My best is 80. I do think I did do 80. I'm gonna give myself that. But I'm just trying to get to 70, to be honest. It's been really challenging getting there, and I feel pretty burnt out at this very moment. So we'll see how we do. This is a full paragraph and not dialogue, so it might be easier. All right, let's do it so we can get to the end of this page. Oh, jeez. Oh, almost got the last one. Okay. So, I think this was pretty good, actually. Few hiccups here and there, but I think I did pretty good. Let's have a look here. I thought I did better than that. I thought I at least had 70, but guess not. Guess not. Well, it's frustrating. This is a very interesting paragraph because, once again, we kind of stayed outside of the character's head, and it's just what Nick is observing, right? So this is another good point of just seeing what Nick can see. He didn't start off, Fitzgerald didn't write whatever courage she had was definitely gone. He brings it to a feature of the character that gives off the impression that her courage is gone, and that's in her frightened eyes. Right? So it uses something to anchor what Nick then implies about the character. It doesn't just say, well, her courage is gone. It's like, no, her frightened eyes give off, told that whatever intentions, whatever courage she had were definitely gone. And that's kind of how you deal with sort of showing the character's emotions, but never really getting into the head of the character. It's just what you can imply by looking at them in that moment, or just reading the room. Finish this page. I think I'm gonna stop it there for today. It's good progress, good progress. Still a lot more to go. Where's my bookmark? There it is. We're making our way through. I think we learned a lot about just how to kind of play around with characters' emotions, expressions, thoughts, but never actually getting deep into them, just using what we have on the surface, which is pretty much what first-person narratives is all about. Another day of typing out The Great Gatsby. This has been fun. This has been fun. It's been a lot of fun doing this. A lot of fun. But no, seriously, for reals, I think we're getting a lot out of it. I think we're seeing things that we wouldn't see if we're just reading it by doing this, and it's been worthwhile, even though it's kind of I feel like this is like the climax right now, and also in reality, it feels like the climax as well also, right? We got smoke, we got a deadly disease, we have moth, kind of have it all right now. It's like everything is colliding all at once. It's like all these groups are inside this New York apartment, just like Gatsby and Tom are, and we're all duking it out. But all we have from our first-person perspective is just what we see and the interpretations we give it. Wow, I think that's deep. I can't really tell if it was deep or not. I'm gonna just say it was. I'm gonna say that thought was very deep. And with that, best of luck to you this week with whatever you're up to, whatever you're doing. Do it to the best of your abilities. Stay sane, stay safe, stay saucy. I don't know. That's it. That's me. That's all I got today. All right. I'll see you next week.